Hi, everyone. This is JJ, the co-founder of GoodPods. If you haven't heard of it yet, GoodPods is like Goodreads or Instagram, but for podcasts. It's new, it's social, it's different, and it's growing really fast. There are more than 2 million podcasts, and we know that it is impossible to figure out what to listen to. On GoodPods, you follow your friends and podcasters to see what they like. That is the number one way to discover new shows and episodes. You can find GoodPods on the web or download the app. Happy listening.
This podcast is hosted by Buzzsprout. Podcasting isn't hard when you have the right partners. The team at Buzzsprout is passionate about helping you succeed. Join over 100,000 podcasters already using Buzzsprout to get their message to the world. If you want an upgrade, Buzzsprout has tons of guides to help you find exactly what you need. We use Buzzsprout and it's a game changer for us. An all-new analytics system helps us track who's listening to our show and where they're listening to it. If you'd like to use Buzzsprout as well, follow the link in our show notes to buzzsprout.com. And while you're there, let them know that Films and Fermentation sent you. Get this early edition rolling. It's the belated early edition.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Films and Fermentation, episode 112. That's right. This is 112. We are Films and Fermentation, a movie and alcohol podcast. I'm Leo.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Mike.
We're just three friends who like to talk shit about movies while getting shit-faced. On this episode, we pay tribute not only to movies, but to TV as well. We're looking at the icons of voice acting and the performances they are known for. We're calling this episode, The Voices in Our Heads.
I hear voices talking.
Don't forget to drop us an email at filmsandfermentation@gmail.com or visit linktree.com/filmsandfermentation to find all of our social media and podcast links. Become a part of the Films and Fermentation family, like our recent YouTube follower, Dean Holt, who just started following us on YouTube. Wrote a nice comment about our Lost Boys episode. He said it was a very entertaining episode. He liked my choice of Christopher Lloyd for the grandpa and gave his own suggestion of John Lithgow for grandpa in the Lost Boys.
Ooh.
So I thought was a good choice as well.
Yeah.
So, Dean Holt, thank you for joining the Films and Fermentation family.
Hi,
you
Dean.
you too can join the Films and Fermentation family by following us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, going to our website, becoming a supporter at Patreon, or hey, maybe buying a little bit of merch at teespring.com.
Yeah, we do still get Kevin some better equipment.
For those of you watching us on YouTube, you might notice that we are recording at a different time of day right now. The sunlight is actually shining on our faces. We don't normally record in the daytime, but we had an opportunity to do so this time around, so we decided to go for it and see what the other half lives like.
We also got pushed back twice. So.
So, gentlemen, what are we drinking this afternoon?
Well,
go ahead, Michael.
First, since I raided Leo's fridge, I am drinking a Stewart Spiked Black Cherry Soda, 5.5% alcohol by volume.
Very nice.
What do you think of it so far? I thought it was kind of sweet.
It's a little sweet. Yeah, it's a little sweet, but not bad.
Kevin,
I got something sweet. My sweet can't be beat.
Okay.
It is
it's
a
s'mores.
popsicle
rocket.
Oh, rocket.
It's a Slushy XL by 420 North Brewing Company out of Columbus, Indiana. And it is 5.3% alcohol by volume. It is a smoothie style sour ale with raspberry, cherry, and lemonade. It is sweet. It is like drinking punch.
I don't know because mine says it has 53 carbs in it, so 51 of them are all sugar.
Ooh. I also decided to go sweet today. I am drinking one of my favorite wines. You know it's a good show when I'm drinking wine. This is called the Frost Spritzer. It's a lemon spritzer. It's a lemon lime white wine. A refreshing white wine blended with lemon, lime, and other natural flavors. 6% alcohol by volume. It's by the Autumn Frost Cellars in Hammondsport, New York, which is, of course, up in my favorite place, the Finger Lakes.
It's a spritzer.
And just so you know, just so you know, it's the kind of month I've been having. I'm drinking my wine out of a mason jar.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, that's the only way to drink wine. Come on now.
I'm not being fancy about it, and I am trying something else with this today too. Something my wife gave me. Apparently, you put this little baggy thing inside your wine, and it helps you from getting a headache afterwards.
It captures the talons.
Yes,
But not talons. Tannins.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tannin net. She gave you a tannin net.
Tannin net supposed to help me from getting the bad headache I get after drinking wine, which
tannin.
It's the only thing about drinking wine I don't like is that I get headaches afterwards. All right. Mike, anything happened this week?
This week in film history.
Yeah, Mike actually brought his soundboard to my house.
Wow.
The whole setup except my other screens. In 2001, AI, artificial intelligence, directed by Steven Spielberg and starring Haley Joel Osment, Jude Law, and Frances O'Connor, is released.
That's odd considering how AI's been in the news a lot lately.
Yeah.
I didn't mind this movie. It was a bit of a drag, but it was okay.
It was one of those like movies that was just a little bit too long, I think.
Yeah.
A little bit too long. It was actually originally supposed to be directed by Stanley Kubrick.
Yes.
And he passed away before he can get to making it, and Steven Spielberg took it over. So a lot of it has Kubrick's like touch on it, including how long it is. But yeah, I said it was weird because of how AI, especially like the AI writing programs, are in the news a lot lately.
Chatbot or not chatbot, ChatGPT.
ChatGPT. Mike said we got an email from Buzzsprout earlier that said how AI can help you turn your podcast into a book.
Yes.
And like, Films and Fermentation, the novel. It'd be a graphic novel. Every page would just be panels of us on the YouTube screen.
Drinking a coloring book.
every other frame, Kevin would be burping.
There's a coloring book.
Paint by number.
Paint by numbers. What's your next one you got there, Mike?
June 29th, 2023. Matt Mercer, Dungeon Master for Critical Role and voice actor for several animated series and video games, including Luke Skywalker in Star Wars Battlefront 2, turned 41.
He's also one of the voices on Vox Machina, correct?
Yeah, he is.
Yes.
He's not one of the main characters. He's like a lot of the backup characters since he's the Dungeon Master for the game.
Yeah, but since we're talking about voice actors on this episode, it makes sense to mention one of the more popular ones.
Yes.
And then, Kevin, if you want to take this one since you mentioned it earlier.
Yes. So unfortunately, we lost a great actor this week. Alan Arkin died, I think, at the age, I want to say, of 89.
Yes. You're right.
Yes, 89. Okay, good. No, not good that he's dead. Not good that he's dead. Just good that I got the number right. Anyway, so I was going through some of Alan Arkin's movies, some of his favorites. Most of the ones I really enjoyed were comedies. We know him from such things as Little Miss Sunshine, right? And one of my personal favorites, Wait Until Dark. That was one of his early ones with Audrey Hepburn.
We had talked about that on the previous show. That was his first Oscar. He won. He had an Oscar nomination for the film, but didn't win. And when asked about it, he says, "You don't win Oscars for torturing Audrey Hepburn for 2 hours."
So I got four lines from some of his favorite movies, and I'm going to play the line and see if you guys can guess the movie it's from. Let me see if I can get this going here. Put that there. You guys need the speaker. Okay, hold on for a sec. All right, I got the tech here. I mean, I got so much tech, it's not even funny. Hold on.
Let's see how
All right.
Upgrade his system.
Yeah, I'm holding the microphone up to my cell phone so that you guys will be able to hear this. All right.
Oy vey.
All right, here we go. Oh, come on, work.
Like a hood ornament.
No, you went too far. Here we go.
How do I look? Like a hood ornament.
How do I
Any
look? You
ideas,
look?
gentlemen? Any ideas? Could you hear it?
It said, "How do I look?" And he said, "You look like a hood ornament."
Right. What movie? What
I have
Alan
no
Arkin
idea.
movie?
I have no idea.
All I
It's
heard
an-
was hood ornament. So
Oh, really? Okay. How do you look? I look like a hood ornament. This is one. It had starred Jennifer Connelly in one of her first roles. It was a Disney-produced movie, almost that of a superhero movie.
Jennifer Connelly.
Jennifer Connelly was in it. There was another actor. I can't think of his name, but it doesn't matter right now. But this man, this is a boy who's a pilot, and he discovers a top secret backpack that allows him to fly.
Oh, is this the Rocketeer?
The Rocketeer. Very good. Very, very good.
I was like, Jennifer Connelly. Yeah, it really threw me off.
Yeah, she was in it. All right,
Yeah.
next one.
After when I joined the police force, I thought that I was going to be Serpico. Instead, I'm Barney Miller. Hey, somebody needs a hug. And Debbie.
Okay. Second movie?
No idea again.
No.
read
This
read
was-
off the script because
Read off this. Okay, I'll read off the script. So, the actor, and I wish I could think of this actor's name too. I'm very well prepared, guys. He's talking to a detective, and he says, "Hey, I thought I was going to be like Cervico. Instead, I feel like Jesus, hold on,
Barney Miller.
Barney Miller." And the guy goes, "I think you need a hug." This was a movie with Mike Myers in multiple roles.
Mike Myers in multiple roles.
Yes, he was a poet. He would do some open mic poetry. He was worried about the wife that he just married.
Was it I Married an Axe Murderer?
So I married an axe murderer. Very good. All right, the next one. Here we go.
Debbie, don't kill anybody for a few days. See what it feels like. Give it a shot. No, don't give it a shot. Don't shoot anything.
Is that Gross Point Blank?
That is Growth Point Blank. Very good.
Yeah.
That was very quick.
I heard John Cusack's voice.
Oh, okay. So you're not getting them from Alan Alda. You're getting them from John Cusack.
No, I wasn't getting it from
All
Alan Alda either. Yeah, Alan Arkin maybe.
All right, Alan Arkin.
Yeah.
Last one.
Oh.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
I don't know. Were you thinking, holy things almost went through my head?
Get smart.
Get smart. Very good. Okay. Was the sound on that last one better?
No, but I recognized the Steve Carell's voice, and I know exactly where that quote was going. Holy shit! Holy shit! The shark almost went through my head.
Oi, oi, oi.
I liked him in Little Miss Sunshine. He was really good in that. He won an Oscar for that one, of course.
Yeah.
He's in one of my all-time favorite films, Glenn Ross. He plays an amazing role in that film, and he was in Santa Claus 3. Arguably not the best of the Santa Claus films, but he does have a funny line in it. He's Scott Calvin's father-in-law, and when he finds out that Scott is Santa Claus, he goes, "He's Santa Claus. I'm Santa Claus's father-in-law. I'm father-in-law Christmas."
Father-in-law Christmas.
So yeah, Alan Arkin, 89 years old. He was always like a very like an actor who was like somebody you knew when he was in the film, you can trust his performance.
Yeah.
Even when it was like a shitty film like Santa Claus 3.
I liked him in not Fargo. Argo.
Argo, yeah.
Argo. You know, he gave solid performances. He was,
Jargo.
yeah, Jargo, Edward
Jargo.
Scissorhands.
Mm-hmm. He was really good in Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah.
Mike, do you have any must-try beer or craft destinations for us?
A craft that's all, folks. I have a craft destination in Iowa. Toppling Goliath Brewing Company. Clark and Barb Lou started as home brewers and won numerous awards. With success, they founded Toppling Goliath in 2009. Excuse me. The brewery has since become world renowned for its IPAs and barrel aged stouts. They now distribute to 30 states. Visit one of the two inside bars at the tap room to sample all 40 beers. I haven't heard of them yet, so I don't know if they're
And that, of course, takes us to the best segment of the show, synopsis according to Glip. So last week was episode 111, which was our Untouchables episode.
11-1.
11-1 was a very good episode. It was a fun episode. It was we had a good time saying our favorite quotes and scenes and stuff from the Untouchables film.
Mm-hmm.
But our recording program, Glip, gave us this synopsis for last week's episode. Here it is now. The synopsis, according to Glip, brought to you by Newsly. Newsly.me is an all-in-one audio super app for iOS and Android that'll read news to you in a natural human voice. Stop scrolling, start listening. Go to Newsly.me and use the promo code ANFROMET to get your first month premium subscription for free. So here is our Glip synopsis. The participants introduce a favorite movie of the Films and Fermentation family. Kevman and Mike discussed the 96th anniversary of the Great Outdoors and decided to make a movie about it. Kevin had a waft of tonic.
Oh, I got a waft of tonic, that's for sure.
Leo liked the score, but Kevman thought it was comedic. Mike liked all the gore and bloodiness. They discussed original endings with Zach Galifianakis as Al Capone. Again, a little bit offbeat, but actually pretty accurate this time around. So yes, we talked about a favorite film of the Films and Fermentation family, and that was The Untouchables. You guys made a joke about doing a Great Outdoors episode on the 96th anniversary, so we talk about the old 96er.
Mm-hmm.
Your waft of tonic was from your gin and tonic that you had last week. I said I liked the score from The Untouchables, but you had a problem with how it was used at certain points in the film.
Yeah.
Mike didn't say he liked all the gore and bloodiness. You did mention all the gore and bloodiness at the beginning of the show.
I did.
And then we talked about our recasting of The Untouchables, and Kevin's suggestion was Zach Galifianakis as Al Capone. So that was our synopsis, according to Glip. We'll be right back after short messages. Please stay with us for our main segment, The Voices in Our Head, a tribute to voice acting in TV and film.
After these messages, we'll be right
back.
Hey movie lovers, it's Jackson here from the Back to the Blockbuster podcast. If you've ever wanted to hear an amateur cinephile and an industry professional chat about film and television, then look no further, because every week my co-host Gaius and I, we bring you the latest industry news, break down the most recent trailers, try to beat the box office with our weekly predictions, and dive into our favorite movies on their anniversaries. And every second Friday, you can look forward to the Back to the Blockbuster spin-off, Deep Dives with Owen and Gaius, where the duo dissects a movie of their own choice. All this and more wherever you get your podcasts.
Hello, Spooklings.
I'm Jason.
And I'm Kathy.
And we're the hosts of the weekly podcast, All Hallows Eve Podcast.
We are a husband and wife duo with a passion for anything spooky, macabre, and true crime, sprinkled with our own twist of comedy.
We explore topics such as the history of Halloween, the Butcher of Plainfield, Hocus Pocus 2, urban legends, superstitions, and more.
So come join us as we go down the rabbit hole that is All Hallows Eve Podcast.
Listen and follow us at allhallowsevepodcast.com or your favorite podcast provider.
Stay spooky, my friends.
We are back with our main segment, a tribute to voice acting, the voices in our head. I again went overboard.
Well, I sent you a whole YouTube video.
Yeah, and then I went and I found a bunch of websites that had other lists and stuff, and I kind of cross-referenced them. And next thing I knew, I had a really long list, and I was like, okay, now I need to split this between TV and film. But then even when you split it between TV and film, some of them cross over anyway.
Yeah.
So the only way I was able to kind of like narrow this down was I didn't include voice actors for live action. So like Jim Henson's not on this list. Frank Oz is not on this list.
Right.
I didn't include anybody who did like, puppetry. I tried to stick mainly to animated suggestions. So
I probably did more than one role. I would assume.
Yeah. I tried to stick, like, the TV one is definitely a shorter list because these were people who basically had a career in voice acting.
Yes.
Whereas the movie list, you have a few people who are really in there for one role, but the role was so iconic, I felt like I needed to mention it.
Right.
So we have in our TV list, which is our first list, Tara Strong. Her name might not be familiar, but her characters definitely are. She was Batgirl and Harley Quinn in the original Batman animated series, and went on to reprise those roles in a few of the other versions of the Batman animated series that have come out over the years. She's also the voice of Riku in the Final Fantasy series. Are you familiar with this character, Mike? I know you're a big Final Fantasy guy.
Yeah. Riku is Final Fantasy X.
Okay.
And 10-2.
I think her most iconic of the three roles, though, is probably Harley Quinn. Because Harley Quinn was not a character in the comic book. She was introduced in the Batman animated series from the 90s. And became such a popular recurring character that she's now, pretty much everywhere. And you got Margot Robbie playing her in films. And soon Lady Gaga playing her in the Joker Part 2. Kev and I are both fans of the next guy, H. John Benjamin, who recently has been the voice of Bob on Bob's Burgers. But for my money, my favorite role of his is Archer. Sterling Archer. Such a irreverent, dirty, but hysterical and very intelligent animated series.
Phrasing.
Danger zone. I think my favorite recurring jokes are Danger Zone, phrasing, and when they make fun of Lana's man hands, or anytime Pam speaks. There are a lot of really good voice actors on that show, but I decided to stick mainly to H. John Benjamin because he's been on other series as well. He's got a very, very recognizable voice.
He was he did Arby's commercials for a moment.
He does Arby's commercials, and then when you see him speaking, it's like, wow,
do not picture it right.
That's Sterling Archer. Yes, he does not look like the character he voices at all.
That is not a prostitute in my trunk. It is an escort.
There's so much funny shit on that show. I can't even remember half of it because it's been 10 seasons now. One of my favorite seasons was the one where they went to space.
Yes.
It was a really good season. Next one is probably a legend in animation. I included one of his film roles as well because it was hard not to. Seth MacFarlane, best known as Peter Griffin in Family Guy, as well as he also does the voice of Quagmire. He does the voice of Stewie, and he does the voice of Brian Griffin on the show, as well as some other voices. He is the voice of the teddy bear Ted in the film Ted and Ted 2. And he does multiple voices on the series American Dad as well.
Guilty things.
I saw a video recently, and it's, God, I got to find it and send it to you guys. It's hilarious. One of the character voices that Seth MacFarlane does on the show as well is Herbert, the old pervert.
Oh, yes.
Oh, Chris, hey. Somebody posted a video recently. Somebody posted a video recently of Axl Rose singing at a concert, and his voice is definitely not what it was in the 80s. And it was like, he sounds like Herbert the pervert, and now I can get it out of my head. And you hear him singing Paradise City, and they got a picture of Herbert down in the corner, and you're listening, and you're like, holy shit, Axl Rose does sound like Herbert the pervert.
Reminds me of childhood memories.
came down to a pretty nice city with a cat.
Oh man! Feel free to add anything you want, guys, to any of these.
Oh, Lord Almighty!
My favorite Family Guy joke is, of course, it's from one of the early seasons where
Ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy.
yeah, piece of candy. Brian has worms, and he's like dragging his ass across the floor, and he doesn't want Peter to find out about it. So Stewie was like, "Whatever you want, dog. Just I'm not the one who's got a bunch of creepy crawlies Shawshanking their way out of my balloon knot." I saw another one recently. It was Stewie, and he goes, "Boy, this is worse than that time I got in trouble for cursing on TV." And they cut to the opening theme song, nothing but a family guy, da, 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 da. And then they get to Stewie's part, and his line is, "Will make you laugh and cry." And they cut to him, and he goes, "Suck my cock, motherfucker." So yeah, Seth MacFarlane. This is quite a 180 here. We go from Seth MacFarlane, best known for Family Guy and Ted, to Jim Cummings, best known for Winnie the Pooh.
And Scooby Doo.
And Scooby Doo.
He is probably the last. He's the last living person from the Scooby Doo series.
Yeah,
voice actor from that series.
Because the next one on the list was also Scooby Doo. He played the role of Shaggy. That was Casey Kasem.
Yeah.
So, but Jim Cummings did Winnie the Pooh and Tigger. He was like the original voice, I think, as well for Winnie the Pooh and for the original Scooby Doo series. Or not the original voice for Winnie the Pooh, because that started a little earlier, but I think he's done the most recordings for it. Sorry, I apologize. I only have a little left in my bottle. I just want to polish it off.
He wasn't even drinking it from the cup anyway. He's going straight from the bottle.
No, I have some in the cup. There's just a little bit left in the bottle. I don't want to, wait to do it, so I just kill it now. The rest of it's in my mason jar. Yes, I am drinking that entire bottle of wine.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure I'm going to suffer for it later.
It's a pre-4th of July drinking day, so,
I have been drinking a lot of moonshine lately, but I thought I'd go a little different route tonight. So yeah, next on the list is Casey Kasem, which is funny because it was a while before I had first learned that he was the voice of Shaggy, because I was so used to Casey Kasem doing the top 40 on the radio.
Yeah, the top 40. Yeah.
As a radio voice. Yes, it's Casey Kasem. He's also one of the voices here in Ghostbusters at one point.
Yes.
When he's like, this song's going out to those guys. Yeah. But he did the role of Shaggy. He was one of the characters in Josie and the Pussycats, which was basically a Shaggy knockoff character. I don't remember the character's name, but I know he talked like Shaggy.
They were both made by the same company. It's both Hanna-Barbera.
And then Super Friends as well, which is also a Hanna-Barbera cartoon. Now, the next one is one that, man, I couldn't believe when I looked up his name how many friggin' things this guy did.
Oh, my God.
So this is a mix of TV, movies, animated, like straight to video. I mean, you name it, this guy's been in everything. Peter Cullen, who is probably best known as the voice of Optimus Prime, among other Transformers characters. So much so that he was actually invited to do the voice in the films as well.
Wasn't he also Starscream?
He was Starscream. He was Soundwave. He was Optimus Prime. He was one of the other. He was a couple of the other Autobot characters too. He did a lot of voices in the show. But he was also the person who did the voice of the Predator in the original Predator film.
Oh, wow.
So when you hear him...
I didn't know the Predator had any speaking parts.
When you hear him repeating things like, you are an ugly motherfucker, that's him doing the repeating of the lines. He was the voice of the Mogwai in Gremlins. He was the voice of Gizmo. He did the voice of King Kong in the 1978 film with Jessica Lange. He was Kit in Knight Rider.
No.
Yeah, he was Kit in Knight Rider.
No, I thought Kit in Knight Rider was the guy that was on Boy Meets World, the neighbor.
Was it? I don't know. I looked it up and it said he was on Knight Rider, so I figured he was Kit.
Oh, no.
No, you're right. You're Mr. Feeney, right?
Mr. Feeney, yeah.
I think he was. Let me look it up again, because I know he was on Knight Rider. Maybe it was a different thing he did a voice for. Peter Cullen. Let's see here, because it was in his IMDb that he was a Knight Rider, and I didn't really look to see, so I might have missed it. So it said, God damn, he's in every one of these shitty
Transformer movies. He's
Transformer movies. He did all these Transformer like cartoon, like straight to video. Tigger, he was the voice of Eeyore in a Tigger and Pooh straight to DVD. He was Carr in Knight Rider.
Who's Carr?
Karr. Yeah, the evil version of Kit.
Oh, he was also Monterey Jack in
Okay.
Rescue Rangers.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't even list everything the guy did. Like, there was so much shit on his resume.
Right. And just to point out, I mean, I know he probably did Starscream, but I have the guy that did Cobra Commander was also the guy that did Starscream for the Transformers, which was Christopher Collins.
Okay. It could have been like at different times they played different characters.
Sure. Absolutely. Absolutely.
It shows he played Ironhide in the movie, Transformers movie. So, another one. Good Lord.
Should we include Orson Welles as Omicron? Or Unicron, or whatever his name was? The next one is also another legend in voice acting, Kevin Conroy, who recently passed away. Started his career as the voice of Johnny Quest. Was on a Adult Swim series, The Venture Brothers, for a short time. But probably most importantly, and probably his most well-known role, was that of Batman from the Batman animated series in the 90s all the way to recently. He was actually on video games, and he was on the series Titans, which is on, I think, Showtime or HBO Max or one of those channels. It's like the adult version of the Teen Titans show. He actually was on the show as Bruce Wayne, the older Bruce Wayne, as himself, like not as a animated character. It was a live action role.
Didn't he also do that for Batman Beyond?
Was it for Batman Beyond? Well, he did the voice of Bruce Wayne, yeah. Well, he was the voice of Bruce Wayne and Batman, but he played the role of Bruce Wayne on this live action show Titans that was on, I think it was on Showtime or one of those channels. He's a voice that is a legendary voice. That's one, like, if you looked him up on IMDb, you got a unbelievably extensive list. So he did most of the Batman video games, like Arkham Asylum, Arkham City. He was the voice of Batman and Mask of the Phantasm. He was recently in the He-Man and Masters of the Universe reboot series on Netflix.
Which one was he?
Hordak.
Okay.
I don't know the character. I haven't watched that yet, so I'm not sure. He was also Merman in the Revelation series.
Okay.
He was Bruce Wayne in the Batwoman TV series as well. He did Batman on a Scooby-Doo episode. Batman on Justice League. I mean, the majority of his IMDb is Batman-related content. But like, it's between the series and the video games. I mean, man made an entire career. He played Thomas Wayne at one point on a show. He did the voice of Alfred once or twice as well. He was the voice of Zeus in Shazam TV series. He did the voice of the police scanner on Green Arrow at one point. He was the voice on a police scanner. Captain Sunshine on the Venture Brothers. I'm trying to like go back like further to see like where he kind of started, because Batman the animated series came out in 1992. So he was in a show called Island City. He was on. He actually had a few shows where he was like an actor and not a voice actor prior to that. He was on Cheers for 2 episodes.
Oh, yeah.
I'll have to go back and find those. He played a character named Daryl Mead. He was on a TV show called Killer Instinct, Tour of Duty, Spencer for Hire, Matlock, Dynasty. So yeah, he started in it looks like a lot of like soap operas and like
TV movies,
like one-off appearances on TV shows and stuff. But yeah, that's a man with a legendary voice career. As is the next guy, Mark Hamill.
Mm-hmm.
Best known as Luke Skywalker, but also for nerds like us, the Joker in the Batman animated series, and probably one of the best Jokers of all time.
Which he just retired doing the Joker. He's giving it up.
He's giving it up.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I guess
He was taking a break too until they found a way to get him back for the Killing Joke. That was his one thing was like, I'm going to give it a rest. But if you guys find a way, getting the Killing Joke to be made, I'll come back for that. And that's what he did. So if you look prior to the Killing Joke, he took a brief respite.
I think a lot of his.
Yes, I said respite.
Yeah, I think a lot of his, a lot of his success as the Joker has to do with his chemistry with Kevin Conroy as Batman as well.
Mm-hmm.
And you might think since Kevin Conroy is passed, it's not going to be like the same thing. Him doing his Joker with a completely different, Batman character.
Mm-hmm.
There was a thing. I'm trying to find it. Mark Hamill was at a Comic-Con a few years back where he did one of Heath Ledger's Joker monologues in his Joker voice.
Yes.
And it was a really cool monologue. I want to see if I can find it and play it for you guys.
Here's one of his
I
voice
found it. I got it. Let me see if I can bring it up for you guys to see. So I'm going to share my screen real quick. Let's bring this up. You guys see it?
It's loading. There we go.
Mark.
Yeah.
I have to thank you so much. You have no idea how much this means to me.
This is a question.
He wants you to sing happy birthday to him. Okay, here's a short story. Huge fan. Grew up with you. Big part of my life, influence. How would you interpret Heath Ledger's Joker's lines? Like how would your version of Joker interpret how it got these.
All right, back to Adam's question. Heath Ledger, is that what he's asking about?
Yeah, how would your Joker do his lines?
Oh, I never thought about that. I mean, what happened was when I saw The Dark Knight, I just was amazed at what an original take on it that it was. That he was joyless, that he was almost like a heroin addict. I mean, it was tremendous. What an accomplishment. And I've never seen such a tongue-centric performance since Hannibal Lecter, where he creeped you out with that slithery tongue. I mean, I thought it was so original. I mean, whether it's the screenwriter, or Heath Ledger, or Christopher Nolan, or all the three combined, I mean, you couldn't, it's like an alternate reality where that's as valid a Joker as anything that's ever been done. Mine is sort of old school comic book, and that's fine, but I just had to take my hat off to all of them. I thought they were fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just hoping you could say why so serious.
Why so serious? Ladies and gentlemen, happy birthday, you son of a bitch!
Not quite the one I thought it was, but I mean, you got him doing at least the "Why so serious" line.
Yeah. I also saw on his list of accomplishments is he was in the Clone Wars as Darth Bane.
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of funny.
He also he was on the Flash TV series and that he was on in the 90s.
As
he was the trickster.
He was Cockknocker.
Yeah, no, that was Dave. But yeah, he was the trickster on the old Flash series.
That's right. Trickster, not Cockknocker.
The next guy on the list here, definitely a legend, obviously, but I wasn't sure whether to put him on the movie or the TV or give him his own list. So I just included him here, and that's Walt Disney, who is, of course, the original voice of Mickey Mouse, as well as the animator behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boy. I've been included. Oh.
Now we're going to get sued by Disney.
Yeah, so that's all I got to say about that. And then that leads to the person who I think was the inspiration behind this list, right, Mike?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Which was Mel Blanc, the man of 1,000 voices. Probably the voice he's best known for is Bugs Bunny. But he also did Daffy Duck. He did Porky Pig. He did Yosemite Sam. He did basically all the voices that were on that show.
Yeah.
That were on the Looney Tunes cartoons.
Lord.
What are you doing, Mike? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good.
Like you're in the next room and I couldn't hear you for a second.
That's all right. I was looking at a list.
You're looking at Mel Blanc's list?
Yeah.
I just want to see like what his credit number is. Let me see here. Mel Blanc born 1908, died 1989. He has 1,264 acting credits. Jesus. And that is probably majority voice acting.
Sounds like a part-time gig to me.
Yeah. He was the voice of Bugs Bunny, the voice of Tom and Jerry, the voice of Daffy Duck, Mr. Spacely in the Jetsons. He was Cosmo Spacely in the Jetsons.
Dino, Captain
Dino and the
Caveman.
Flintstones. Jesus. Voices I didn't even know he did.
Daffy Duck, Tweety Bird, and Bugs Bunny, and Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Barney Rubble. Foghorn Leghorn. Heathcliff and Heathcliff and the Cadillac Cats.
Pepe Le Pew.
Pepe Le Pew. We don't talk about him. He's canceled. Elmer Fudd. Sylvester Tweety. The man was like Speedy Gonzalez. He was a one-man show.
He was.
Like these are the voices are like every character basically.
Barney Rubble.
Barney Rubble.
Caveman.
I'm looking for more. It's mostly like Looney Tunes characters that are coming up.
Yeah. Every so often you get a bit.
Every so often you see something that kind of pops out that's not. Oh, he was the voice of Twiggy and Buck Rogers.
Yeah. I kind of knew that.
I didn't know that. I actually did not know that. I used to watch Buck Rogers all the time. I did not know that.
What do you think, Buck?
Let's see what else here. I'm going back.
Who was the Pink Panther?
Pink Panther. Well, Pink Panther didn't really talk, did he?
Well, apparently he did some points.
He was the voice of King Arthur and Merlin Jr. in a short film called I Was a Teenage Thumb.
Journey Back to Oz, he was the Crow.
He was, Wile E. Coyote as well, which is basically just a lot of like screaming. I'm going like all the way back. He did Dick Tracy for a while. But I mean, like if you want to go back to his start in animation and in movies and such, let's see here. His first acting credit was for Bugs Bunny Looney Tunes TV series in 1930.
I'm still in the 50s.
So he started in 1930 doing Bugs Bunny, and then his last acting credit was he died in 1989, but he has 4 acting credits posthumous. 1990 Jetsons movie, 2000 Bugs Bunny Halloween Hijinks, Tom and Jerry's Magical Misadventures in 2013, and Cartoon Classics 2019.
Well, the Cartoon Classics
that one is that compilation one, but how do you get the 2013 voice? Like he died.
They just cut and spliced.
So his last credit when he was alive was for a short film called Knick Knack, where he played Nick. So yeah, I mean, not lying when I said man of 1,000 voices. When you look at his IMDb, and he's got over 1,200 acting credits.
Yeah.
So, we have any other names, guys, we want to add to the TV list, or should we hop into the movies now?
I think I have a name.
Mm-hmm.
I think I have a name. I just want to verify that this guy's got as much clout as I thought he did. And I'm thinking of Clancy Brown. Okay.
Clancy Brown, who plays Kurgan in Highlander, and he plays Captain Hadley in The Shawshank Redemption. Is also the voice of Mr. Crab on SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yes.
He also does a bunch of voice work for the Rick and Morty cartoon.
He's done some stuff for Transformers, Earth's Park, Tales of the Jedi. You said it, Rick and Morty. That was the one I was looking for. El Defo, American Dad, Invincible, DuckTales. Not the original DuckTales, the relaunch.
Yeah, so, I would put him under, because he's done like mostly in his later career, he's done a lot of voice work and stuff. But I would put him on there. He's a voice I always kind of recognize when I hear it on a show too, because it's he's got a pretty distinct voice.
That's because you listen to him like every other day when you watch Shawshank.
Well, that's because I watch Shawshank on a regular,
every other day.
I was thinking him and maybe Gilbert Gottfried, but I mean, he's also one of those got into it later.
And you can add Gilbert Gottfried to like the movie list, and says his Iago from the Aladdin was probably his first major role as a
but he's also done SpongeBob and Teen Titan Go and
So I think we move on to our movie list here now. So with the movie list, these are not so much actors who have done the role, 1,000 times like Mel Blanc has, but have done roles that are kind of iconic and well known and probably should be, mentioned a little bit. So the first one I have on here, we've talked about this already because we did a whole episode about this guy, Danny Elfman. We did an episode about his career as a composer for movies. And he was the person who voiced all of the songs for Jack Skellington in A Nightmare Before Christmas. Now, he did not do the voice work per se, just the singing vocals portion of it.
Do you know who did the voice work for Jack Skellington?
Who did the voice work for Jack Skellington? Do you know?
Yes. Humperdinck, 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 Humperdinck.
Christopher Sarandon?
Christopher Sarandon,
yeah. The next one I have on here, Levi Stubbs, who voiced Audrey 2 in Little Shop of Horrors. Feed me, Seymour. Feed me, Seymour. Will Arnett as Batman in the Lego movies.
A lot of things in the Lego movies.
His Batman's pretty good, though. He even got his own Batman film, Lego Batman movie.
Which was very good.
He's got a hosting job for the Lego challenges.
Yeah, I know, right? Now, the next guy here is somebody we could probably stop and talk about a little bit because he's had more than just the role that I put here. This is one of the ones that I like the best. Alan Tudyk.
He is a leaf upon the wind.
He is a leaf upon the wind. He is America's sweetheart. He is the voice of King Candy in Wreck-It Ralph. King Candy.
King Candy.
You wouldn't hit a guy with glasses.
You wouldn't hit a guy with glasses, would you? Oh,
you hit a guy with glasses.
You hit a guy with glasses. I see.
On Tabo. So he's Wreck-It Ralph, King Candy. He's also the voice of the chicken in Moana.
Yes.
Like, that's how much of a team player Alan Tudyk is. He voiced the chicken. Which is basically just making chicken sounds. Yeah.
But he was also the voice of. He was also the voice of. I can't think of the android's name. Hold on.
Yeah, it was K2SO, was it?
K2SO.
K2SO.
And Sonny. He's played a robot in multiple movies.
I know.
Sonny in the movie I, Robot.
He's done. That's right. He was Sonny in I, Robot. He's done some voice work for American Dad, the Harley Quinn TV series. He plays Clayface. He did the voice of Optimus Prime on the newer Transformers TV series. He was in a film called Disenchanted, Zootopia. He is Duke Weaselton. I love Resident Alien. It's not a voice work show, but it's a show I think everybody should watch.
It's a great show.
I love that show. I can't wait for it. It should be coming back on soon. Let's see. I'm looking for some of his other, like, he was the voice of Arcade in the MODOK TV series on Hulu.
Kree in Big Hero 6, the TV series, and I think the movie as well.
Yes, right. He was in Tuk Tuk, Raya and the Last Dragon. Robot Chicken. He does a lot of voices on there. He is a number of voice characters on Rick and Morty as well. He was in Frozen 2.
He also played Iago.
He also played
live
Iago.
act-
He was
yeah.
Iago in the live-action version of Aladdin,
Mhm.
apparently. He plays the voice of Danger Boat in the Tick TV series. So I mean, it's funny because a lot of his like voice work are things that are kind of like side character voice work. But then occasionally he does do like a major character like King Candy or K2SO from Rogue One. But then then he plays something like Hey Hey the chicken from Moana.
Guys, I just thought of one that we missed for both TV and the movies.
Who's that?
Seth Green.
Oh yeah, because Seth Green has Family Guy. He is Adult Swim show Robot Chicken.
He's the voice of Howard the Duck in Guardians of the Galaxy.
In Guardians of the Galaxy, that's right. Yeah, Seth Green. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Next one I have here is Douglas Rain, who of course is a film actor, but who voiced the role of HAL 9000 in 2001: A Space Odyssey, which has become a pretty iconic voice character.
What are you doing, Dave?
Can't do that, Dave.
I can't do that, Dave.
Row.
No, it's not Rower Boat. It's Daisy.
Oh, that's right.
Give me your answer true. It's a voice like his that could take what is essentially a red light and make it ominous and scary.
Yes.
Then we got the next one here. I said I wasn't going to really include things that weren't animated, but I kind of cheated a little bit with this one because he does have animated as well as live action. And that is James Earl Jones as Darth Vader in the Star Wars films, but also as Mufasa in The Lion King.
Well, he did voice over the actor for Darth Vader. So it is a voice.
Yeah, but I wasn't doing live action, But as a Star Wars fan, I couldn't resist.
Not.
Excuse me, I'm joking on my wine. And I love.
I think you came over my mic on that one.
Excuse me. I like the crossover of Mufasa and Darth Vader when he says, "I am your father." I feel that was the only reason they hired him to be Mufasa. Jeremy Irons as Scar in The Lion King. I just love his performance. I don't know if he's done any other voice work, really, Jeremy Irons. But just something about his Scar made me want to include him on the list. Let's see if he did anything else. I don't think he's done any other voice work. I'm not seeing much.
Birds Like Us.
Is that an animated show?
That's an animated show from 2017.
Yeah.
Some stuff on The Simpsons.
Who hasn't done stuff on The Simpsons?
That's true. Very, very true.
He was the voice of the bar rag. Not himself, the bar rag. Okay? It takes a lot to play a bar rag.
Yeah, but as far as like voicing, he was on a animated film called Fairies. He was the shapeshifter. The voice of Poseidon and Poseidon's Fury.
He did a lot of narration for the Civil War. Ken Burns' The Civil War.
That's right. But it was mainly The Lion King that he's best known for as far as like animated films go.
Right.
Then I have Kathleen Turner voicing Jessica Rabbit in Who Framed Roger Rabbit. As well as Charles Fleischer, who is Robert Rabbit.
Get it?
Yes, my wife just walked in, looked at my empty wine bottle, and gave me a sigh.
Oh, I thought she was going to give you a fresh wine bottle.
No, she looked at me and gave me that look like, okay, here we go. Steve Carell as Gru in the Despicable Me films, which there are one too many of.
I do enjoy them, though. They are entertaining.
I like the first one a lot. The second one was okay. The Minions movie was like one too many.
Mm-hmm.
And now they had another one recently. It was like him as a kid. It was
Yes.
like Drew as a kid or something.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still Steve Carell's voice, just like higher pitched. Which brings me to Billy Crystal and John Goodman as the voices of Mike and Sully in Monsters Inc. and Monsters University.
Is that the only voice acting that Billy Crystal did?
I find it hard to believe, but it's the only one that kind of came up. Yes, folks, there was a lot of preparation behind this episode.
Well, we didn't have a lot of time to prepare. We were very short on time for this. No, he's done stuff for.
No, I know he's done other things. I was trying to pick out roles that I thought were like the more iconic ones.
Yeah, I just was wondering.
So I mean, like Monsters Inc. Like I think of him in voice acting. I think of Monsters Inc.
He was in The Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Was he?
As the mattress salesman, yeah. I don't know whether or not he was animated or not.
But I'm looking like, and I don't, let's see here. Monsters Inc., Monsters University.
He's the voice of Jack in the Frasier TV series.
The Critic. Oh, remember that TV show? The Critic?
Yeah.
Trying to.
That was John Lovitz.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle, Goodnight Moon, and Other Sleepy Time Tales.
Sesame Street.
Sesame Street. He was the voice of America in The Search of Dr. Seuss. And this is why I decided to go with Monsters Inc. as his iconic role.
Yes.
The next one, I think you can't argue with me on the next one. Tom Hanks is Woody and Tim Allen is Buzz Lightyear in Toy Story.
Yes.
Another franchise that is ongoing. Ellen DeGeneres as Dory in Finding Nemo and Finding Dory. I know there's a lot of stuff in the news about her lately as like being sort of like a dictator on her show and not a nice person in real life. But I did enjoy her.
Cancel culture's coming in.
Yeah, I did enjoy her Dory performance. My favorite line in Finding Nemo is she's asleep and she's dreaming. And he's trying to wake her up and she's talking in her sleep. And she goes, "Yes, I am a natural blue." Sea monkey stole my money. Speaking of Mike Myers, who we mentioned a little while ago, Mike Myers and Eddie Murphy as Shrek and Donkey in the Shrek films.
I hear Eddie Murphy. And I hear Mushu.
You hear Mushu? Well, Mushu's another good one.
Mushu?
Because I like Mulan.
Mushu. They're great.
Yeah,
they're powerful. Mushu.
But you have to say he did do more work as the donkey character in the Shrek films.
He did.
Yeah.
He did.
Look at me. I'm sexy.
Yeah. But he made it with a dragon.
Made little dragon donkeys.
He did.
So speaking of movie theories and fan theories, I saw a fan theory recently that stated that he's one of the kids that get turned into donkeys in Pinocchio.
That's what I had heard too.
Yeah.
This is why he could talk.
Yep.
Robin Williams, of course, as the genie in Aladdin, and Coda in Ferngully, which I didn't realize both came out in the same year. Came out in 1992.
No, neither did I. How about that?
I didn't realize it either.
Yeah. Ferngully, kind of underrated, I think, as a film. You want to talk about another good voice performance is what's his name? No, the villain character. Tim Curry as the what's the Smog character, whatever it is.
Or something like that, yeah.
And then Mike, you added this one, and he should be on this
Nope.
list.
No,
Okay, you added this one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, John Ratzenberger, who's voiced at least one character in all Pixar movies since its inception.
Mm-hmm.
Without looking at IMDb, can you name the characers?
He was Ham in Toy Story.
Ham in the Toy Story, all the Toy Story films.
Mm-hmm.
He was the Underminer in The Incredibles.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
He was the
School of Fish and
School of Fish and
Finding
Finding
In
Nemo.
Finding Nemo.
He
right?
was the Abominable Snowman and Mike in Monsters Inc.
In Monsters Inc.
I
It was
swear.
Mac and
It's Lemon.
he was Mac and what's the car in Cars?
Okay, I haven't seen Cars, so I couldn't even tell you that.
He was the Mac truck.
He reprises the role of the Underminer in Incredibles 2.
Right.
I think he's in Monsters University, and you see how he gets like abandoned in the human world in that film. Oh my God, what are some other ones now?
Was he the captain of the ship in Wall-E? Was that him?
No,
Was he
that
the
was,
captain of the spaceship?
Was he the voice of the captain?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The captain was the captain was the guy that played the father on the Goldbergs.
Oh,
He was the
Okay.
voice of the ship. I know he had I think he was one of the fat people in the floating chairs in Wall-E.
Wasn't he like the caterpillar in Bug's Life?
Bug's Life, yeah, he was the caterpillar.
hmm
I'm looking up Wall-E now because it's going to bother me. So it was Jeff Garland was the voice of the captain. He was the dad from the Goldbergs.
Okay.
John Ratzenberger played a character named John, who was one of the people in the chairs who has to walk at the end to try to save Wall-E and all that stuff.
Okay.
I'm
He
gonna
was in
look him up now though because I think like I'm kind of
Ratatouille. He was Mustafa in Ratatouille.
Mustafa. You're one of the rats.
I think so. Yeah.
So let's see here. He's in Soul. He's the voice of a guy on the subway. Onward. He's a construction worker. Toy Story. All the Toy Story films. He plays Ham. He does the voice of Ham in the Kingdom Hearts 3 video game too. The Underminer in the Incredibles films. He was Juan Ortodoncia in Coco.
He was a construction foreman Tom in Up.
He reprises his role as Major Durlin from Empire Strikes Back and Lego Star Wars. That's funny. He is one of the crabs in Finding Dory. He's in The Good Dinosaur, Inside Out. He plays a character named Fritz.
In everything.
So yeah, pretty much it looks like it's every Pixar movie as far as I could tell. He's in Planes as a character named Harland.
He's in Coco.
He's in Coco. He's in Brave as a character named Gordon. Going all the way back to Toy Story.
And he reprises all his roles in other video games they're in.
Yeah. That's cool,
Yeah,
man. That's
the
cool.
only person to voice a character in all of Pixar's animation feature films.
Yeah, it's cool to have that kind of a career, man, where it's like you go from being a, fairly successful TV actor, and then you find a second career as a voice actor, and you're so popular with the Pixar staff, they put you in everything. It's kind of
Cliff Clavin.
yeah, that's job security. It's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you have any other names we want to add to this list, or you think we were pretty good here? I was trying to think of things as we were doing this. The only other name that popped in my head, kind of like an honorable mention, was Steve Buscemi as the villain character in Monsters Inc. Randall, the guy that changes colors and stuff. I couldn't really think of anything else.
No, I think we're pretty good on most of them. I mean, you got all the famous actors that do a voiceover every once in a while in a Disney movie, but
At some point or another, we'll do one about live action, sort of like voiceover stuff. But this is a pretty big list to begin with. So, Mike, do you have any beer trivia history for us this evening? This afternoon, still.
Yeah, beer trivia. Best bitter or special bitter is a bit more flavor than the lowest strength ordinary bitter, but still rarely exceeds 4.7% alcohol by volume. Extra special bitter or strong bitter is usually 4.8 alcohol by volume and higher. There you go, boys.
I'm almost done my bottle of wine. I have about 2, healthy gulps left. Which is why my wife gave me that look when she saw the empty bottle sitting next to me.
And with that, I finished mine.
I'll let you guys know whether or not the thing that's supposed to keep me from getting a headache keeps me from getting a headache or not.
The tannin net, the tannin
net.
catcher.
Tannin catcher. Kevin, how was your popsicle in a can?
Very sweet, very, very good. This would make for an excellent slushy, you know?
Is that something you want to probe?
I'm not probe. Freeze, probably. I think I'd have to freeze that shit. But you know what? City Sips make something very similar to this. So I may just, and they are frozen adult,
the bag things, yeah.
Capri Suns, yeah. So I may, but this is good. This was a good find.
All right. Thank you for joining us for episode 112, The Voices in Our Head, as we paid some tribute to our favorite TV and movie voice actors. We hope you enjoyed listening to this podcast as much as we enjoyed recording it for you. Again, don't forget, you can email us at filmsoffermentation@gmail.com or visit linktree.com/filmsoffermentation. Find all of our social media podcast links. You can become a part of the Films and Fermentation family. You can support us at Patreon, help Kevin buy some new equipment, or you can go to teespring.com and buy our merch.
Give us some suggestions on some themes or topics you want to hear from.
We're always open to suggestions on future topics. We're also always open to suggestions on drink ideas as well. If you have some drinks you want us to try out, Kevin is now officially on the beach. He's ready for the summertime, it looks like. Don't forget,
relaxing in the sun.
Yeah, don't forget to stop by the Crossroads between Pickled and Fermented next week as we present episode 113. This one is a special episode. We're going to be talking about movies we wish we could watch for the first time all over again. It should be an interesting one. So thanks for joining us again, and we'll see you next time around. I'm Leo.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Mike.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Hi, I'm Chris.
And I'm Deb.
And we host a pretty fun podcast called Today We Laughed and Learned. You know, this is where we discuss all the things we should have learned, but, well, never did. And we have quite a few laughs along the way.
Today We Laughed and Learned with Chris and Deb.
We're curious about everything. Experts on nothing.
Come find us wherever you get your podcasts.
Fellas.
So why were you at the laundromat?
Because I don't have a dryer.
I
Our
was
dryer kinked out on Monday or Tuesday last week. I got Mr. Appliance over to take a look at it, and he pulls it apart. He goes, "Oh yeah, it's your motor." It's like, "Oh, all right, well, you know, we can fix that now, right?" He's like, "No." It's like, "Okay." He said, "Let me draw up the quote for you." It's like, shit. And the quote was $575. And now there was the diagnostic, so that was $150 I had to give him right then and there. So that would have come off of it, but he's like, "Look, man, that's what he said." He said, "Look, man, you can get a new drive for $600." It's like, all right. So Megan and I found some time. Yeah, Megan and I found some time within the past couple of days to go looking at dryers, and we ordered one today, but it's not going to be around. It's not going to be installed until Thursday, and we're both running thin on the essentials. You know, socks and underwear. Everything else I can kind of get away with, but socks and underwear. So we're like, we got to go.
Just put them outside and let them dry.
I told Mike I was expecting to hear a Molly ate the cord story.
No, actually we're really trying better with her. Like now it's like we gotta ignore her because it's the attention and giving her the attention, and then we depart, then we leave, or then we do something, and she like loses it because she's like, "Oh no, I want the attention." So now we're like, "Okay, hey mom, What's up? How you doing? How's your mom? You know,
That's your mother.
How's your mother? So we're going a different route. We're going to see how well it goes, but we are taking her on, like we've taken her
So
on many car
You're
rides.
playing hard to get.
Yeah, essentially.
It's the
Essentially.
you've gone to the part where Sheldon says, "Now we can only be roommates." To say, "What's up?" That's it.
What's up? Essentially. So sorry about that. I didn't even see the text come through.
No, that's all right.
I was every 5 minutes I'm checking the dryer there to see if it's done. And God forbid they ever clean out the lint trap or any of that shit to actually let it dry quicker, because that's how they get more quarters. It's like an arcade for adults, only nobody's happy.
Nobody. There's no high score.
There's no high score. Nobody's happy. It's not entertaining whatsoever.
So I'm on location today.
Yay!
Mike's at my house.
Yeah. Oh yeah! Look at you. What are you doing there?
Dropping off food.
Nice.
He and Adrian were down the shore a little bit today. Stopped up at my house on the way back.
Cool. Very nice. Very nice.
But I brought my setup, so
yeah. Looks good.
Mike didn't want to sit in my lap during the show.
yeah. Your little area is kind of crowded there. I think for two.
Hey, Lee, is Sue still over at Abington?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to go over on Wednesday, I think, and see her. So
I think Chrissy will be there Wednesday.
Okay.
So, because right now we're trying to figure out where she's going to be going next. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to mention Alan Arkin dying? Because it's not in the notes, but
yeah, because that happened last week. Yeah.
Right,
or actually a few days ago, right?
I have a thing I can play. It's like 4 of his, personal favorite lines from movies. So I can play that. We can see if we can guess the movie it's from.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right.
Hello, everybody. Let me ask you a question. When you were a kid, did you ever wonder what teachers talked about in the teacher's lounge?
You probably didn't miss much. It's usually boring stuff like grading papers, lesson planning, and then figuring out the new train schedule.
Train schedule?
Well, I teach in the city.
But sometimes, at one of the not-so-cool tables in the back of the teacher's lounge, you might find us, the Fandalorians, teachers by day, nerds by night.
My name is Mr. Richardson, and by day, Mr. McDonald, Mr. G, and I teach and inspire America's youth.
But by night, we debate, discuss, and argue about all things in the pop culture universe on our podcast.
We discuss all the biggest pop culture topics in the world, like Ozark, Stranger Things, The Marvelous Miss Maisel, Marvel, Star Wars, Top Gun Maverick, The Old Man, Bridgerton, you name it, we'll probably discuss it.
You guys watch Bridgerton?
Yo, season 1 of Bridgerton was awesome. You don't know what you're missing. Since we are teachers, you will always get a ton of background information about our topics and original teacher-themed segments, like our pop culture morning announcements, building meetings, and post-observation reviews of shows and movies. Oh, and arguing. You'll get lots of disagreements and arguing, like way more than I'm comfortable with.
You can find us wherever you listen to your podcasts. Just search for The Fandalorians, Teachers by Day, Nerds by Night.
Then join us every Monday as we look into the current state of fandom and pop culture.
Hey, look, the bell's about to ring. We need to head to the buses. Hopefully we'll see you guys soon.
Well, I mean, they're not going to see us because this is a podcast.
I know.
But they can't even see us when you think about it, so they won't see us either.
Oh my God, you know what I meant. It wasn't literal. Just ring the bell. Ring the bell.
The Fandalorians, Teachers by Day, Nerds by Night. I hope you listen and subscribe to us soon.
I hate you guys.